The one positive thing that I'm seeing from coronavirus.
Is the world healing itself?
Yep. And I had this thought a couple weeks ago. I was like, man, with everyone staying at home, like carbon emissions got to be real low.
They are.
But I had this like 2 weeks ago before I saw any data on it. And I was going to bring it up on the pod. And of course, I fucking forgot. But so the Himalayas are now visible from India.
Yeah.
For the first time in like 60 years.
Incredible.
LA recorded its lowest amount of smog in like 80 years or 70 years, something like that. Don't quote me on it. Yeah. That's fucking crazy, man. That's crazy. That's really, I mean, listen, I said, I told Julia this the other night. These next 3 to 4 months here that we're going to be dealing with this, or longer, I'm not sure, but let's just say 90 days as a timeline. We're going to find out if climate change is reversible or not. If we can repair the damage that we've done. We're going to find out in the next 90 days. What's possible? And all these businesses, these big companies that have these big office buildings, have all this, and all their employees are now working from home. Why weren't you fucking doing that in the first place if it's possible? It's actually...
I can do devil's advocate to that one. Because yes, working from home is great. It's super convenient. But for some people, and I know for me personally, with certain things that I have to work on, if I don't physically have to actually go somewhere to make it happen, I'm still just kind of checked out mentally.
But if you had to do it to make your check,
it might change it. I can't say. I mean, we do all this shit from home anyways. Correct.
But if you had to do it to make your check, it's interesting. I'm glad you brought that up. Because I follow Shay Serrano on Twitter. He's a writer. He's worked with multiple Bill Simmons projects. He's written books. Really cool Twitter follow. And he's been, shout out to Shay Serrano, because he's been giving away a ton of money and shit. This was really dope. But I follow him, and I think it was him.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was him that said this. But he said that they were having the conversation that we're having right now. Are you more productive in an office, or are you more productive at home? And I think it was him that said, personally, distractions aside with kids and stuff, and even with those distractions, he said, personally, I'm more productive at home. Whenever I've had a deadline that I had to meet from home, I always got more work done, because there was more urgency. Like, oh, fuck, I'm at home. I need to do this. This has to go in. This has to be submitted. Whereas when you're at the office, you got the fucking vending machines and you got the people around you and you're stuck in a cubicle, or you're doing, it's more it's more bland. It's more of a creative killer. To him anyway. This is what he was saying. And honestly, I've edited from work. I've edited for years. I've brought my computer in and edited at work. I've always been less productive doing that. When I'm at home, I'm like, fuck, I gotta do this. So these big companies, I mean, if it's possible to do that, to have people work from home and it doesn't lower productivity, what do you have to lose in doing that?
Right. We had that conversation, something similar to that. It was either last week or the week before that. And I said, you're going to start seeing companies make that transition,
yep.
I think, more.
Yep.
Especially, more specifically, the cell phone providers and carriers. Because now you have companies like T-Mobile that has what's called a team of experts, okay? There's 5 to 10 designated individuals that every time you call in, you only deal with those 5 to 10 individuals.
Yeah,
so they learn your account, things of that nature. But you're going to see these cell phone companies start to operate their customer service and just their overall process the same way that Apple does. Like, Apple stores are really just like a little a la carte little hub where if you want to just do your own thing. But everything else can be done online.
The interesting part of that too is, where was I going with that? You were saying what now? You were saying... What was the first part of that before cell phone carriers?
You're just going to see a lot of companies transition to that model.
Yeah. And it's possible. So that's where I was going. Okay. So what do you, I asked, what do you have to lose? But you got to look at the gains. I would think, and I'm no fucking expert, but I would think that if you don't have the huge office building in a skyscraper that you paid fuckload for rent for, or you don't have, that's a less overhead. If you can do it with the same or similar productivity,
why wouldn't you?
You're lowering costs. You would think, in theory. You're lowering costs. You're lowering your overhead. People are working from home, which means, and I know this ain't going to fucking happen, but you can pay your workers more. Guess what happens when you pay your workers more? You incentivize them to meet deadlines. I would think that this might be the solution, especially if we're saving the fucking planet at the same time. I think these corporations need to be held accountable.